everybody. We are back again doing another episode of Behind the Toppets. And today we got somebody that does so much for the Toppets. And I'm very excited to do this episode. So, Marcelo, welcome.
All right. Good to be here.
How's it going? How you been?
I've been doing good, man. I'm officially back in the studio. Not to give too much of a rundown, but we had a little bit of an issue in the apartment, which caused this studio to be temporary storage. So I haven't been able to record anything or get any of my stuff done as of a whole month and a half, which was super disappointing. But regardless of that, I'm back.
Well, that's great. That's great to be back. So, Marcelo, people are wondering, how did we meet? How did we collab with some of these projects? Do you want to tell the folks at home how we met and everything?
Absolutely. I mean, it goes way back. I was born on September 27th of 1980.
Oh, man.
Well, just prior to the pandemic that happened in 2020, I was just sitting around with nothing to do. I just got on TikTok, just making like random clip videos just for fun. But then I just started using my puppet characters that I've had for the longest time. That year was actually supposed to be the year that the Figments were officially going to be doing things,
okay,
and stuff. But that just never got around. But actually, thanks to the pandemic, just being stuck inside with nothing to do, that was actually something that I could do. And from there, I just started seeing that people were just putting puppet content on TikTok all across. I mean, there was my friends at Mia's Puppet Corner, Brandon Smith. There's a lot more. My good friend Saki the Sock Puppet, and that's actually where we met through TikTok. Because you've duetted a few of my videos in the past, and from there we just grew like a sort of connection through that community. It was basically how I meet everybody is through various communities, whether it's cartoons or voiceover or puppets, and I've met so many people in the puppetry community, and they're all such dear friends of mine. Others I continue to support. But yeah, that's actually where we met. It was through TikTok and then Instagram, then YouTube. And here we are.
So for people at home that don't know what you do exactly for the Toppets, do you want to explain things that you do for the Toppets?
Sure. So I'm pretty much a designer for the Toppets. That's pretty much what I started off with, doing logos and such. And if there was a new show or a new skit, whatnot, I would be the one to draw it. I originally started out being a cartoonist. I'm still a cartoonist to this day. I never stop. And then as we just carried along, you reached out to me and asked me, hey, would you like to play some characters? I have this blue furry monster goblin that that we're planning to use. And I said, oh, well, let me see a picture. Because I always like to see a picture of a character before I start doing anything. And as soon as I saw him, I just went, hello, I'm Vincent Von Goblin. So it's pretty much my voice. It's a little bit high pitched, but with a heavy rasp. That's pretty much it. I just looked at him and I just saw that he would sound like this. And then from there, I sort of came up with a backstory that, I come from a family of goblins. I'm the first a goblin in the family that went into show business, and I'm actually succeeding with. That's pretty much where I came into the picture, and I do like these little advice and tips in some episodes of the Toppets, where they're very much so heartfelt, They're
Yeah.
very, very kind, which is, me being Vincent Von Goblin, that's who I am. I want to help people. I want to make people feel good about themselves, whether you're a human, whether you're a human, an animal, or a puppet. I want you all to just be happy with yourselves, because you're the ones out there making a big difference, whether you know it or not. Then that's one of the characters I do. The other one, Tog, that little raspy little furry purple monster that just is just laid back, especially when he puts on the shades. I can't imagine him without shades, So he's just laid back and cool and, just mellow and just very chill. But when you ask me singing, well, if you wants to be a movie star, you take it to Hollywood. If you want to stay like you are, I think you really should. I'm your vehicle, baby. Something like that. That's where my real singing tone comes out, and it shines through, baby.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's along with being a designer, I'm a performer as well. A voice actor performer. Main difference being that if I had the physical puppets with me, I would be performing them and doing the voice at the same time, giving them my own mannerisms, how they would move, how they would act in a certain way. So that's how it would be if I was actually performing the physical puppets. But, just getting to play a character, just being able to voice a character from where I am, and then seeing how you would take my track from where you are, it almost looks like I am kind of performing him physically in a way that's a little hard to explain, but it is a cool thing.
Yeah. So for Tog and for Vincent Von Goblin, I literally study your performance. I had to go back to your YouTube videos, your TikToks, Instagram videos, and I had to study your performance, how your character walks, because your performance and my performance and other puppeteers' performances are all different. That however people grab a puppet, how they use it, it's totally different. So I really had to be you when I performed Tog. I had to get that looseness you have with the rods when you perform some of your characters. I got to make sure I'm not going too crazy with the head movements, because I put way too much movements in the head, so I had to bring it back a little bit. So I had to literally pretend I was you performing these characters.
Yeah, which I did notice. I actually did notice that when I saw the clip of Vincent and the first snippet of Tog when they made their appearances, because for a lot of puppeteers, they have their own style of performing, whether with lip sync, you can hit every syllable, which is cool. But then when you put on a puppet, and this head structure is like massive and very strong, you definitely got to learn to dial back the heavy lip sync. Otherwise, he's just going to look like a crazy person on camera, unless that's your original intent. But yeah, it's definitely all about, like you said, you went back and observed how I would perform my own characters, which for a lot of them, they have their own way of, they have their own movements. Body movements, head movements, lip sync movements. I try not to hit every syllable, because that's basically how I practice. when it comes to lip sync. I hit every syllable, but then when I put on a character that's not flexible within the mouth plate, I have to dial it back. Otherwise, like I said, I'm gonna look like a crazy person on camera, unless I am creating a crazy character, which I am at the moment.
Yeah. My next question: You're working on some brand new characters for the Toppets show and other film projects. How you're if I'm gonna announce it right here, right now, you are voicing a character in our new Winnie the Pooh show. I'm not gonna say which character, but you're performing a Winnie the Pooh character. You're voicing a cartoon character for Sneaky Bat, and you're voicing two brand new characters for the Toppets show. Your thoughts? What goes through your mind when a new project of the Toppets show and you're connected to some of these big projects we're working on? What goes through your mind when I throw you that idea? Like, hey, you want to do this?
At first I say, hell no, I'm not doing this. No. How can I turn that down? I can't turn that down. No way. No, but in all seriousness, joking aside, whenever anyone ever asks me to play a character, I'm sounding kind of pro right now, but that's the initial term that I would use. Whenever I get to play a character, even though I'm just voicing a character, it's fun. It's so much fun because I'm getting to use all the various tools that I was taught in university, and with some help from friends who are in the voice acting community, and just adding my own twist to it. I'm adding my own twist to it. Willing to take direction, but at the same time, having a sense of play with some of the new characters. I'm not gonna name names with the cartoon character that I'm playing, but
yeah,
I'll say this: I did manage to draw inspiration from one of my favorite comedians, and that's Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh my gosh! Seriously?
Yep. You think you got it tough? I had a facelift. There was one just like it underneath.
Oh my gosh! Peak hasn't sent me any audio or any clips from the cartoon yet, so this is my first time hearing it right now, guys. What's how the character Mr. Bacon? I can say Mr. Bacon because
I tell you, folks, I'm doing all right now, but last week I was in rough shape, I tell you, they said they were going to make Canadian bacon. I didn't think they were actually going to make me their Canadian bacon. I tell you, there's no respect. I got no respect at all.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. So I can say Mr. Bacon, but the other characters I can't announce quite yet, folks. But
that I definitely like to have people surprised. But
yeah,
with this one I couldn't wait because I love playing that kind of character that's completely different, and B, I love getting to add my impressions that I couldn't do back in the day, but I can do now, and getting to add that into cartoons and puppet characters. It's a fun process.
For some of these characters, I kind of asked you to do a knockoff version or a bad impression of a character. So it was like really good to see my advice and tips going into the voices you make these wonderful different voices for. So it's really that teamwork that we have, and you trusting me, and then I had to trust you with where you go with the characters. So it's really, that's a good thing that we have. So for your characters that are on the show right now and that people can see and they know who you are, what do you see for the future of Tog and Vincent Von Goblin?
I guess having Vincent be a leading man for some of his own videos, maybe him. I don't know, just him being a leader. Just him being the leader, gathering his own little team together, not taking over Spike's place, of course, but just maybe more of his backstory, or more of his interests, so that way we all get to know who Vincent is and why he's doing what he does. With Tog, need I say anything else? I want to see him go on tour. I actually want to see him with Guns N' Roses.
I do. When we had Tog, he was trying to be our jazz musician. He was like the jazzy guy. So it's really, really cool. You're just diving right into the music side of Tog, adding a little sparkle, the sassiness. I love the sassiness in your performance. Your ad-libbing is really cool. With Tog.
Yeah, with Tog, I might as well share my process on creating these characters. Whenever I come up with a character, whether it's my own or for someone else, even though we work with puppets, I try not to drive too much inspiration from the Muppets. I try to find different elements from other places, like musicians, actors, or a scene from a movie that would make me go, oh wait, maybe with this scene right here, some of that little essence can work for me to create a character. Or that, and also, as you said, I do impressions of cartoon characters and comedians, and those definitely fall into the mix. One of my heroes, Jim Cummings, who as you mentioned about Winnie the Pooh, he was asked, if you could give advice to anyone that wants to break into voice acting, what's the best advice you can give? And I held on to this advice for so long, and I'll pass it on to those listening. Do impressions of your family members, anything you see on TV, people that you see outside. And if you do a good impression, you can have a new character from that. Mm-hmm. But this is the good part. If you do a bad impression, you have...
That's the best. Yeah.
And so even though a bunch of my impressions are spot on good, I can try to twist it. And come up with a new character from that. But if I do a bad impression, I have a new character.
I remember when I was on your podcast, I said the exact same thing. A lot of my characters are impressions of real people in my life. So it's like, look at the simple things in life and see the things you don't really see or you don't notice that much in life. And then use that as a way to create a new character or create a sketch. That's where I find most of my stuff. I have some notes here that I wanted to bring up to you. These are notes and ideas I had for Tog and Vincent Von Goblin that we never used. So I'm gonna bring it up with you, Marcelo, and see if these are anything you want to use in your performance, or we should look into that more, or whatever. It's like a little conversations thing, So we have here for Vincent Von Goblin, for his original segment they were planning to do, he was trying to be a therapist kind of character, and his mission was to figure out why are the Toppets like this? Why are they strange? So that was like his case. It was like each episode he would be asking, it's like a therapist. Just ask people questions, figure out why does Spike have an addiction of Skittles? Can we dive into that in our conversation, Spike? Kind of like this. Why these characters are so weird, and that was the idea for Vincent Von Goblin, was trying to be a therapist character, but
almost kind of feels like Sam Eagle in a way.
Yes. So it was more based from a counselor I had in school. So that was the idea of Vincent. asking all these personal questions and stuff. But we cut it out, this segment idea, because it wasn't funny. It was more deep and stuff. So we're like, we like deep. So let's dive into more of the deep stuff and be more him giving advice than making fun or picking these characters' brains, you know? So we kind of switched it up. But I think that's a kind of a cool idea. I think that could be his own show, in my opinion.
It could be.
It could be in the future, or something. I don't know. That was one thing that we had. Another thing that we had for Tog, he was trying to be blind. He was trying to be a blind musician.
Oh.
And we cut that out. I don't know why we cut that out or didn't go with it. That was trying to be the idea of Tog. Because we bought Tog from another puppeteer builder.
Mm-hmm.
And his eyes were a little wonky or falling off, and it was very wonky. So we're like, what if we go with that? I never seen a blind puppet character before. Well, I think we should go into that and show more, more different people into the Toppets. But for some reason we cut it out. I'd like to have a blind character. That would be really interesting to see that look on screen. Another thing for Tog, he was trying to play the trumpet, but his arms are very too long, so we cut that out entirely. Vincent Von Goblin was trying to be purple in the original drawings we have. He was trying to be a bird. Interesting too. He was trying to be a purple bird, but we switched it. We sculpt the head out of foam. The whole head is sculpted out of foam. And we were planning to carve the beak, but for some reason it looked not like a beak. And we ordered purple fur and we got blue fur instead. So we covered him with the blue fur and stuff.
Right.
And he looked nothing like a bird. So we added arms and we added the ears for Vincent. And we have some fun facts about Vincent. Vincent actually has a cut in his left ear. Yeah, he has a cut in his left ear.
I did not know that.
You did not know that?
No, I did not. I did not know that until now.
Oh, well, if people are watching this or listening, I mean listening, not watching. My apologies. If people are listening to the podcast, go back to the Vincent episodes. I will tag some episodes down below, so check them out. And you can look, and he has a cut in his left ear. So that will be brought up in a future episode, maybe. Yeah, we have things set up. We're setting up a lot of things in the Toppet show, and nobody's really noticed them yet. So I'm really excited for people to, when they see the big project we're working on right now, and then they go back to like the newer episode or the old episodes, be like, oh, they told us this years before they even did this. So I'm really excited for people to see.
Oh yeah, they mentioned this, right? They mentioned this years ago when they said that they were going to mention that. Oh my God! Oh, wait,
yeah, it's crazy. So,
well, look at that, boys. Look at that. That fellow was way ahead of the curve. Jeez.
Exactly. And a lot of things are going to be brought up, like why Spike has a neckerchief. Why does Vincent have a cut in his ear? Why is Big Red red?
Spike have an obsession with Skittles. There's other people, but
we did a Spike Q&A. It was a Grimm's Fun Fact, a new show we're working on. It's where Grimm gives away fun facts about characters. You learn more personal things about the characters. And then Grimm mentioned Spike's first Skittles came from a dumpster. And if you go back to episode 9, you see Spike in a dumpster. It's a flashback scene. And he's in a dumpster. And all those flashback scenes will be connected to the big project. So everything comes together. So it's like, you must watch everything to understand the big picture. You know, that's like...
Exactly. You got to watch the whole thing before the movie comes out, and everything will be explained.
Exactly. You got to watch Tools. You got to watch Sneaky Bat. You got to watch Maria and Tiny. You got to watch everything to understand the big picture.
Watch every episode, folks, and then because as soon as a future movie comes out, not saying that there is one, but there might be, everything will be answered.
Will be answered. So Marcelo, what is your favorite Toppet character that you don't perform?
Oh, that's a tough one because there's so many. I'm gonna have to say Larry.
Larry? Why
Yeah.
Larry?
I'm gonna say Larry. Larry's the stand-up, right? Larry's the stand-up comic.
Yes, he's he's the stand-up lizard.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to remember. I guess it's based on his characteristics and mannerisms that I enjoy so much. That and plus, he's a comic, which, if you're a comedian, you're already a friend of mine. So I really enjoy Larry's performance. I guess the other one I would say is Grimm.
Grimm. Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Because I guess it's mainly because of. Well, I guess it's because I have an obsession with puppet monsters. So I'm
okay.
Yeah, that's always been my thing. Thanks to the Muppets, and also thanks to a show called Foster's Home, Imaginary Friends.
Yeah.
I watched when I was network when I was a kid. So yeah, those two, even though I don't perform them, those two are definitely one of my favorites.
We have a rule over here at the Toppets. No human puppets. That is our number one rule. But we love monsters way too much. We have a problem with monsters. So, but we love the strange or we look up like weird monsters that nobody hear about. Everybody talks about the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot, but nobody knows what a lizard man is or a chupacabra. So we're like, let's just take these unknown monsters and just put them in the main, put them in the main focus. For Grimm, there's a funny story about Grimm. So if you ever watch Gremlins or watch movies with gremlins in it, they're always super happy and they're very reckless and stuff. But Grimm is very calm. He's very intelligent. He's very by the books. So it's really seeing a gremlin like that is very cool. And that's a little reference for the future too, guys.
That's actually what I like about Grimm is because he is a gremlin, but instead of being like those gremlins that are so heavy destructive, he's just he's just very calm and laid back. I can't really imagine him as a gremlin being so chaotic and destructive, even though his species are chaotic and destructive.
It is. We look at chupacabras are very evil creatures. So we kind of when there's something that we know a lot about. So let's say, I'm looking around for the Toppet characters. Gus is a cute little furry monster, but he looks cute, and you think, oh, he's gonna be the cute Elmo kind of character, But he's very negative. He wants to make fun of you. He wants to tease you a little bit. So it's we take things that you think what you're getting yourself into, and then we flip it on its head.
Yeah.
And that's what we do with Grimm and Spike, Sparky.
Yep.
Swampy a little bit. So we just flip things on its head and you thought you know you're getting yourself into, but it's totally opposite.
Exactly, yeah. And talking about having no human characters with your stuff, that's actually the number one thing that I decided not to do with my group, which is, well, I mean, some of them kind of look human, but that is not what their character traits are going to be. There's no humans allowed in this thing. They're just like heavy, abstract, wacky looking guys and gals, you know?
We made that decision to not have human characters on the Toppets because if you watch Sesame Street, you see, or the Muppet Show, you see human characters and puppet characters. And for me, watching that, I felt like, is there two separate species of humans in this universe? There's like felt humans, and I'm like, for me, I like to be. I gotta know every single information. I'm like Grimm. I gotta know the facts. So it's like for me, it just drove me insane. Like, why is Ernie's a felt, but you got? I'm so lost right now. So that.
The reason why I'm laughing, and I mean no disrespect, I think that you're thinking a little bit way too deep into this than it needs to be.
For the Toppets, I need to think ahead and think about every single detail. So that's why
we saw Happy Time. When the Happy Time Murders came out,
yes.
I'm pretty sure there was nobody in the theater. Wait, there's a human, but then there's a human like puppet here. Like how does this work? Did Sponge evolve from point A to B, or like did they get covered in something? If people keep questioning that, they're gonna get a major headache, and that's when explosion.
Exactly. So for the Toppets universe, it's in the Muppet universe, I guess. I don't know, or like in our universe. But it's like
if I see that, I just say everybody's just having fun within the show. Let's just go with it.
Let's just go with it. But for us, we were as the Toppets. We kind of think ahead and kind of like plan things ahead, sort of. So like everything is like. Oh, all the cat characters look similar, or like all the chupacabras look super similar. Oh, I just made a reference to a project we're working on right now. Well, sorry, folks. I'm giving you a whole bunch of details. I just said multiple chupacabras. So everything kind of looks the same. So like, you see real humans with Spike and Larry, but you never see a felt human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we talked so long about human puppets. I never thought we would be talking about human puppets today. I never thought about that. That would be a conversation we'd be having.
Well, I mean, it was kind of brought up, and then I pulled a laugh, and then I made it funny, and overall, what I said, and because this is my mentality, like if you're coming up with a certain idea, make sure that idea works within that world that you want to create, but it has to make sense within that world,
Yes.
So, make it make sense. If it does, just work on it a little bit more until it does, but don't keep questioning, like don't drive yourself nuts. Because otherwise you're going to get yourself a big headache, and then you're going to get angry that, oh man, this isn't going to work, and then you're going to scrap the whole thing. Just create and let go,
Exactly. My next question, what is your favorite Toppet show? We have multiple shows right now. What is your favorite one to watch when they come out?
I'd say the one that I like the most is, I guess it would be I forget the other puppet character's name, but he mentions about the new Super Mario movie that's going to be coming out with Chris Pratt.
Oh, that's is that Spike Talks?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's Spike Talks. That is Patrick. One of my friends performed Patrick.
Yeah. Where Patrick talked about the Super Mario Brothers movie, where with with Chris Pratt as Super Mario.
We need to have Patrick on another episode of Spike Talks. I need to get that. Man, there's like Spike Talks and like Chuck's Clubhouse. There's like no more episodes, so I need to like work on episodes for those. I've been so worried about.
Chuck's Club. Yeah, I mean there were only a few episodes of Chuck's Clubhouse, but I had.
There's only one. There's literally only one episode.
Well, there might be more in the future and prior to this podcast. So.
Yes. You got to put me on that. You got to remind me every day. Marcelo was like, "Hey, make another Chuck's Clubhouse. What are you doing, dude?"
Hey, Chuck, where's Chuck? We only saw one pilot.
Yeah, we saw the pilot. Like, we need more.
This is like has been Hotel. Where's the rest?
Exactly. But like, my opinion, I like writing the comedy stuff more than like the educational stuff. You know, that's what I like. I like writing for like Tools Harder Work, Sneaky Bat, Toppets Off Camera. I like writing the short little gags and like the long stuff or like the educational stuff. It's just like I just want to get the joke out. You know, I just want the punchline. Just give me the punchline. That's all I want. So, I mean, that could be a reason why, but I'm not going to throw reasons why I'm not been working on it. It's just a lot of things are going on, dude. And even other projects I didn't even pronounce yet that we're working on.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. You and me both. And both.
We're going to call it a day, but if you have any questions for a future episode of the podcast, leave it down below. We will ask the question to whoever is on the episode. My goal is to have, on the future episode, to have Peak Animation, Kevin from Roommates, and Marcelo have the four of us at a future episode. And then we do another episode with the Toppet performers. And then we will have at the end of the episode, the finale, we will have everybody that was in every episode come together. And we'll do a giant Toppets crossover, you can say. You're going to see everybody there. And it will be in a Zoom call of some kind. And it's going to be really awesome. But right now, we talked to Marcelo. And stay tuned. We got some really interesting episodes coming up in the future. Right now, I can just say thank you so much, Marcelo, just being a part of the team and helping out with these projects. And everybody stay tuned for more. Anything else you want to say to the audience, Marcelo?
One thing I will say, if you have something that you want to do it. And yeah, you may have to make some sacrifices to achieve those dreams, but overall, don't stop. Don't ever stop, because if you stop dreaming, it does die. So you can't let that dream die in doing what you want to do.
Well said. Well said.